Good afternoon. Excited to have everyone here for the 2019 University of Miami Hurricanes Men's Women's Basketball Media Day. As the athletic director, I'm excited about the programs. Obviously, both coaches have been with us for a while. Katie returns a lot on her team and brings in some much needed reinforcements with her freshman class, and Jim did an incredible job last year. I guess I'll say with a really short bench, and I'm excited to see his bench expand. I know he has a very talented freshman class as well. Excited about where both programs are at. Obviously, both coaches have had tremendous success for us here at the university, and what I'll say is the toughest basketball conference in the country, hands down, and looking forward to exciting seasons for both of them and to great days and nights here at the Watsco Center, celebrating, I'm sure, what will be many victories and a lot of exciting basketball. So with that said, happy to answer any questions. Yeah, ticket sales continue to move. I think, as everyone knows, we've had the great fortunes of selling out the past few years. We're going to take a little bit of a step back from that, but I think it'll be along the lines of what we've had. I think the biggest challenge for us a lot of the times is utilization, not necessarily tickets sold. And so while the tickets sold number won't be that great, I think if we can pick up even greater utilization than we had last year, I don't think visibly it'll be anything that anyone notices as a difference. But again, a lot of that, as we saw with the 2013 year that we won the ACC, a lot of that depends on the excitement, or I guess I'll say perceived excitement of the team through the fan base and the media and where they're at in the standings, both in the league and nationally.
What are you going to do? It's always kind of an issue here with getting students to go. The arena's right here. It's very convenient. Are there any special things that you guys may do this year, especially considering that the attendance dropped a little bit or may drop? What can you do to get students more involved?
It's continuing to work with the student groups. Michelle, you touched on it. I think we do a lot of different things, from giveaways to promotions to getting our coaches and teams involved in that front. I think at the end of the day, an exciting product on the court is the number one driver, and I think we'll have that with both our men's and women's programs this year. At that point, then it's working with campus. Some of them will be challenging. Sometimes it's in that we'll have games during student breaks, and sometimes calling it for what it is. The priority of academics may outweigh it for a number of our students, but I do think we'll have a lot of energy. That's what we really look for from the student population. I think they do a great job of bringing that. It starts with our band and carries over into our student population. And so working with the student groups on campus, having a great product. Again, at the end of the day, I think giveaways help, but just good open lines of communication, promotion, and communication really will be the drivers. And those are things we'll continue to work with campus and the campus groups on.
Is there a heightened sense of excitement around the men's team for a bounce-back season, or has that never really wavered even, through some of the tough times last year?
Well, I'm the athletic director, so I guess I'm always excited. That might be one that the fan base could tell you, or you guys might know better than I. But I do think people recognize that Jim's bench was short last year. I think it might have been his best coaching job in terms of my time with him here over the last 7+ years. Again, I think every game you looked at, he had 7 or less guys going, and when you look at how they fought throughout both halves of their game and everything they did to be competitive, I don't think there was ever any loss of excitement. I'm excited for him in that he has a longer bench and a deeper bench that will hopefully help address some of those issues. But again, we have great coaches on with both of our programs, and the changes and strategic moves they make throughout the game just has something that to me just is special about both of our programs and why we've seen all the success we've seen with both of them.
With football, obviously this year isn't going the way you would have wanted it to. But considering that there is continuity with the coaching staff from last year, with this current staff, could you have foreseen that maybe a total rebuild was in order with the football program, or I guess is that kind of surprising that now
Well, I guess maybe I look at it differently. I don't look at it as a total rebuild. Again, as I've said, we're 3-4. I think anyone who's watched the games, seen the effort that's put forward by the team throughout. I think anyone who has an understanding of the game recognizes that plays that 90% of the time go your way. In certain occasions haven't gone our way, so I could easily have us at 5-2, and I think as an optimist could see us at 7-0. With that said, the reality is we're 3-4, and that's what we'll deal with, and that's who we are. That's what the win-loss column says, and so I know Coach Diaz is focused on having our guys ready to go this weekend and give their best effort and hopefully bring home a victory from Pittsburgh.
I know you stood by Manny Diaz, and you said so last night on the Hurricane Hotline. Do you wish going back to when the season maybe would have maybe gone through a coaching search? Even if it results in the same being higher, but just take your time through the process, or would that have maybe affected too much your ability to get the guy you wanted in Manny?
I mean, we got the best person for the job. And so, again, regardless of the length of the search, anytime you do a search, you want to get the best person for the job, regardless, I hope, of whatever profession that's in. I'll say I can only speak from athletics, but in athletics, you want to always try to get the best person for the job. And so, to me, there's no point of going through things just to say you did them. You go out and you find the best person for the job. Manny Diaz is the best person for the job. I felt that way on December 30th. I feel that way today, and I'm confident I'll feel that way in the future.
Blake, I want to ask you, along those lines, obviously you hire a new coach, you have to give him some time, right? That's standard across the board for everybody. But would there be a point this season if losses continue to accumulate where you have some concerns, want to make some changes? Like, where is that line for you as you look at that?
Well, again, I think you're always making changes. I think Manny's made changes already. He's been vocal and I guess I'll say public about some. And there's changes that are constantly made. I think you're going to have Jim and Katie talk with you here later today. I think if you ask them, they're making changes not only every game, they're making changes within games. And if Manny was up here, I'd say, I'm assuming he'd say the same thing. I mean, that's what coaches do. You have to look at the situation and then put your team in the best position possible to win the game. I've said it before, we want to win every game. I think everyone smart enough to know there isn't a program in the country that wins every game every year. It's just the reality of sports. That's why we play it, and we're going to go out and do the very best that we can every week. But to answer your question, Manny's going to be making changes each week, and honestly, during the game, I'm confident he'll continue to do those things, and he'll continue to grow, and we'll continue to get better as a program.
And I'm more along your thoughts, where you, as an overseer of the program, would have to say, maybe there's some concern here, we make changes here. Is there an amount of losses this year, or is it where carte blanche for Manning, his first year, give him some time with the staff to sort of figure things out? That's sort of what I was getting at.
Well, I don't know if I exactly understand your question, but I guess what I would say is Manny and I are in regular communication. He wants to win. I want to win. We both know our fans want us to win. And so those are things that we have to address on an ongoing basis. I don't believe in waiting to the end of the year and then looking back and saying, well, we should have changed this or we could have done this different. If there's things that we can change right now, let's change them right now. If there's things that we need to change at the end of the year, then we'll change things at the end of the year. But we're not sitting back looking at something and saying, hey, this needs to change, but we're going to wait to the end of the year and then we'll fix it. Things need to be fixed as we move along. We got 5 games left in the football season, and I know he's focused on doing everything he can to make sure our guys are in the best position to go out and execute and bring home 5 victories.
I want to go back to basketball for a minute.
For Basketball Media Day, fitting.
Can you talk about Beatrice Montpremier getting, ACC preseason player of the year and what that means for, the program to have a high-profile player in the women's game and just what it meant for her to come back and not go into the WNBA?
A lot. Again, credit to Katie for bringing such a talented young woman into our program and continuing to develop her as a player. I think the recognition by the league as the ACC Player of the Year, to me, is the league recognizing the great things she accomplished on the court last year and the opportunity for her to do even greater things on the court this year. And I think that's what has me most excited about it is I know Coach Meyer is going to have Beatrice and the team executing even a higher level. And it's one where Beatrice, I'm sure, had an opportunity to go to the WNBA. I don't know enough about the WNBA draft to make a guess as to where she would have gone or even where she'll go this year. But I know she's a special talent. She's a great person. I've enjoyed the opportunity to get to know her. Obviously, a tremendous honor for her this summer to be able to represent our country and do the great job she did there. I think a special honor for her to be able to participate with the U.S. team here a few weeks ago and get that experience. And again, I think all those little things are recognition of the player and person that she is and how she continues to grow under and develop under the leadership of Coach Meyer. And I'm excited to see her out on the court this year, going against the best competition in the country in the ACC, and excited about our women's basketball program.
We'll do 2 more questions for Blake.
Like, I was just wondering, what are your big picture thoughts on the name, image, and likeness stuff that's kind of out there?
We have to continue to evolve as an association and what it means to be a student athlete. I think something is going to change. Obviously, with the law in California going into place, we can't be playing by a bunch of different rules. And so I do think there'll be something nationally, whether that's state by state, which I think creates a lot of challenges, because if everyone isn't playing by the same rules, I'm not sure how it exactly works. And so hopefully it's something that either through the federal government or through the support by the states through the association, which I honestly think would make more sense, but recognize that might not be an option given where this has now gone. We need to continue to change what it means to be a student athlete. I think we need to do a better job of communicating to the media and the public what it means to be a student athlete. I think it's a great experience. It's one that is significantly different today than it was 3 years ago, and significantly different. It was significantly different 3 years ago than it was 5, 10, 15, 20 years before that. With that said, it'll continue to evolve. I think if there are legitimate situations where kids can capitalize on their name, image, and likeness, we have to figure out a way as an association to allow them to monetize that value. I think where the tricky part comes is there's a lot of strength in the name on the front of these jerseys in college athletics. And I think it's that balance of is the notoriety because they are the quarterback at X university, or is it because of who they are? And that's the balance I think we have to try to figure out. I do think there are some unintended consequences with the legislation as written, or I guess I'll say potential loopholes that I think will cause some real serious questions in the future if we're not able to modify that. With that said, I will give the people the legislature in California credit that they put a January 1st, 2023 start line on that, which again hopefully will give us time to work through some of those issues and really create a situation that legitimately allows kids in those, I'll say, I think what'll be rare situations to really significantly capitalize on their name, image, and likeness. Not to say that there isn't some broad things that won't be able to happen, but I think if you look at it nationally, there just isn't a lot of students out there that have that brand nationally. If I think about it last year in college basketball, there's probably one, Zion Williamson, that had really a national appeal, and that's an individual who we probably should have different rules for someone who's in that type of position. So it's going to change. It's changed over the last few years, and it'll continue to change. I think part of that is we need to make sure we're communicating that not only to all of you in the media, but to the general public, because what it means to be a student athlete, I think, is a special experience and one that I know our students enjoy. I have regular conversations with young people after they come back, having been away from us, and their experience here, whether it was 1, 2, 3, 4 years, is one that is real meaningful to them in their life, and one that they'll never forget the experiences that they had.